I really like the way we played today. You know, obviously it's not the pitching that we've been seeing, but you still have to hit it, and you have to hit it hard. The wind's blowing in. And our guys just came out with a little bit of an attitude, it looked like to me. We had a lot of balls hard, super hard. And, you know, we were patient, took our walks. We ran the basics extremely well, except in that last inning when my freshman didn't tag up on that ball into right center. The pitchers, man, they filled it up. I think we had 2 walks. You know, the game will tell you things, you know, just like that inning. You know, we give up the hit that drove in the run. He made a mistake, and the guy got him. And that's the way the game works. So, you know, I feel like, you know, McGuire probably learned something, and Coach talked to him about it. But just a really, really well-played game by our team. And I told him, I said after the game, it doesn't matter if throwing 85 or 95. You know, you got to have the right approach. You got to do things right, and I felt like we would have won today no matter who we played. We played good.
You mentioned the guys came up kind of attitude. How good was it to see that from like the jump in the first inning, 7 runs like that?
Well, it was big, you know, because, you know, runs were hard to come by down in Texas, and we had a lot of opportunities. We didn't come through hardly any, and you know, for us to just keep getting hit after hit and, you know, taking pitches and get pitch counts up. I mean, they were wanting their starter to go probably 3, and he threw 43, 44 pitches in the first inning, and obviously we scored 7 runs, and pitchers come out and just fill it up. And, you know, with Colin coming out and doing what he did, we thought we were going to go 1 with them. You know, if they got him out on, if he got 3 guys out on 8 pitches, maybe we'd let him go again. But we just wanted to get a rhythm of starting on Tuesday like he was going to. And, you know, then Parker came in, and Parker was sick this past week. He didn't pitch, and I thought he came in and did a good job, and we want to make sure we have him available. And then after that, we're just running guys out there. I thought Cooper threw extremely well, first outing, fastball, good life, got a cutter going, and, you know, it's really good to see those guys come in and do a tremendous job.
I was going to ask about Cooper, that being his debut. Is he a guy that could eventually work his way into a role for you, like on weekends? Or
Yeah, I mean, his stuff's really good. And, you know, it didn't work out the first weekend. And then, you know, should have probably pitched him on this past weekend. But, you know, just about every time we'd have brought him in, it had been a super tough spot. And first time out. You know, it's kind of we're going to be his first time out. Even with Gackle coming in the other day, it wasn't his first time out. So, yeah, I mean, everything just kind of shifts around in this game. You just kind of go with the hot guy and guys that keep proving it to you, and I'm sure he'll get to pitch against this weekend.
You played Grambling here last year, 2 days after you got back from Arlington. You called it a trap game, and it ended up being real eventful. What was different today? Did you use that game last year as maybe?
Well, I didn't say anything to the team about it after the game on Sunday. I was just like everybody else. They're just ready to get out of there. And then yesterday, you know, guys came around, did some stuff on their own. It was pretty much a day off. And but before the game, I told the position players that, you know, this is a veteran team. Most of their players are back. They're physical. They've lost some 1-run games. Had a conversation with the coach before the game as well, and they're very frustrated that they haven't been able to finish games. And obviously we didn't see their better pitchers because they used them on the weekend. But I did tell them that we had to scramble last year and fight to win that game, and that if you don't come out and you don't play the game right, you'll lose. And I don't even know if I really even needed to tell them all that, the way they came out and played, but they were ready tonight.
You had 9 extra base hits today. Just was that nice to see the power numbers come back?
Well, I'm all about hitting doubles. I love doubles, and we had a hustling double or 2 and some legit doubles, and but it's nice to hit the ball over the fence every now and then, especially after they boot a double play ball. We made them pay, and you know, it's just kind of the way the game works sometimes. But yeah, it was really good to see us swing the bat, whether we were hitting doubles or singles. We were hitting the ball hard, and those couple of those, I think all 3 of those home runs, the exit velocity on those things were 110. You know, the one that Polk hit was just absolutely crushed into the breeze, and he knew it was going out of the park when he hit it. I thought it was, but that wind didn't slow it down a whole lot. And I always kid with them in practice, because hitters always know which way the wind's blowing. And I say when you really have home run power, it doesn't matter which way the wind blows. You can still drive it through it. And whether I believe it or not, it was good to see that swing.
The Grambling pitcher that came in after the starter, that was just looping balls, I guess, whatever word you want to use, just how difficult or different is that for the hitters to deal with?
Well, that was one of the innings we did not score, but then we figured it out and got after him. I mean, you're talking 15-mile-an-hour difference. I don't know, maybe on the breaking ball to the fastball, but it was really slow. And, you just have to really sit and stay through the ball. And we took a couple good swings, but we took a few that weren't so good, and we flew out. But the second inning, they just really stayed back on it. They were on him and ended up knocking him out of the game. So it's tough when you go from one velocity to another, and that's, a little deception. That's why you go right and left and different things during the game. You try to deceive some hitters.
Spraglot, 2 double plays today after, some adventures in Arlington.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really good fielder. It's good that he started 2 of those double plays. And, hey, it is what it is. Baseball, you just keep working, man. If you have a bad weekend with the glove or the bat, the good thing about it, you usually don't have to wait a week to get out there and do it again.
Hudson Polk, the grand slam, you talked about the catcher depth all off season. How good was it to see that for him and to just kind of keep the building competition there behind the plate?
Yeah, it was real good to see. I talked with him yesterday in the morning. We talked about catching and hitting and playing and, what he brings to our lineup. And I told him we needed some of that right now anyway. We need some power. And sure enough, right on cue, he homers his first at bat. It was beautiful. Gave us a, 5-run lead at the time maybe, and I don't know. I think the rest of the teammates were excited to see that for him personally.
You spoke about Colin a little bit today, and we spoke about him in Arlington, but just how much of maybe a boost is it the way he's pitching so early in his freshman campaign, exceeding expectations maybe even for what you guys thought of him this year?
Well, he's pretty highly touted coming out of high school. We're always worrying about if the guys are going to make it through the draft, and there was an opportunity there for him to sign professional, as there were a lot of our guys. And a lot of times, it comes down to money, or it comes down to you really want to go to school, and you got to figure out what you want to do. But when we recruited him, we knew he was a strike-throwing lefty that had a breaking ball and a changeup, and he could pitch. Whether he didn't gain another mile an hour on his fastball, he could come in and get college hitters out. And his fastball, he can throw at 94, 95 if he wants, but he can pitch at 91 and stay in the game longer. So I don't think he's exceeded it. I just think, after being around him in the fall and realizing he's a little more mature than some freshmen mentally, that he was going to help us right away.
For the left field battle with Jones, Edmondson, Lovich all playing well. Obviously, not a ton of separation between those guys. What did you make of the way they played?
It was great. Make it harder on me every day. I'm good with it. That position needs to be a position that helps with the offense a lot. And, we're going to have injuries. We're going to have sickness. Maybe one can go to center field. But they all swung the bat well. I mean, Lovich got 3 hits and 2 of them were 2 strikes. And, I thought Edmondson, he squared up a bunch of balls, even the double play ball. Then he hits one hard. The guy makes a dive and play, hits a double, has line drive single. I don't know, maybe 2 doubles. But, and then Jones clobbered 2 balls. He hit those balls extremely hard. It just cut through that wind like nothing. And, it's good. We need those guys. We need those guys to hit.
Obviously, Coyle was sick a little bit over the weekend, but him and Fouch got to get in after not pitching over the weekend. What did you see from those guys? And just moving forward, how do you assess their potential roles?
Yeah, Coyle did what he always does. He kind of goes out there and throws strikes, upper 80s, 90, 91. And I think he's a little weak right now from being sick, and his velocity will jump back up in the low 90s as the season goes on. Strike thrower, gets outs, makes you swing the bat, and that's what we needed. And then, Fouch, I think he walked a hitter, but he also threw the ball hard, 96, 97 miles an hour, and kept the ball down. I think the first hitter, he threw a really good split finger. We called a changeup on our little device, but it's a splitty and it's nasty. And that was a good one. And I got him a strikeout with a really good hitter. So everybody, for the most part, got a little action that either pitched a little bit or didn't pitch, and on the weekend, and kind of use it as a bullpen and kind of get them ready for the weekend if they're needed.
Your pitchers are putting up some really high strikeout totals right now, a lot of 2 and 3 strikeout innings. What do you think is behind that?
Well, multiple pitches they can throw for a strike, and I don't really think that they're setting a true pattern. You know, guy's got a good slider, maybe gets ahead of you 1-2, and you're thinking he's going to drop a slider on you, bust fastball by you. Got some good changeups. I mean, just a good arsenal. You know, not just one pitch type strikeout pitch. You got a couple there, and you know, we got guys that have good arms, mid-90s guys, and they got something to go with it. It's hard on a hitter. And we just kept running them out there, you know, really all week.
This is the first time we'd seen Dossett this year. What do you think of that performance with 3 strikeouts and 3 batters?
That was great. You know, it's fastball in the mid-90s. I think it was 96, maybe 95 on the board, but I think we went down and I think we got it maybe at 96 a couple times, and that's great. Velocity's great, but you got to locate it, and he located some really well. And I thought he threw his cutter, which is really nasty. He threw it great to the left-handed hitters. To the righties, he was pulling a little too far over, and it was ending up in the other batter's box. I thought his stuff was really good.
And then Peyton Stolball's 3 weeks post-injury. You said 4 to 6 weeks. Are you thinking it's going to be on the shorter or longer end of that?
Well, I'm probably not the right guy to ask. Probably got to ask Peyton and our trainer, or our doctor. But so I'll just say right in the middle. I'll say 5. So maybe a couple more weeks. But he's moving around good. He's throwing, you know, swinging the bat off a chair, whatever we can do to just keep him going. And as soon as he gets cleared where he can start seeing live pitching, we'll have some of our guys throw to him. And plus he's standing in on guys getting loose in their bullpens. We're just putting a screen in front of him, so we don't want him to try to jump out of the way with a broken foot, so or get hit in the foot again. But everything we can to speed him up, he's trying to do. He wants to play, and he's already told me when I get back in the lineup, I'm never coming out. So I hope that's the case.
You said down in Arlington that you thought about 50% of the positions were wide open right now. This coming weekend, how do you plan to use players, and how big is that for maybe setting a lineup down the road?
Yeah, I think that you could go around and you could probably go to half the positions and say you could play him or him, and that's a good problem. And that's kind of what I meant by that. You know, I haven't looked at Murray State stuff at all. You know, DJ and Zach have been getting that, and Bobby, and for the most part, and we'll start really looking at it tomorrow. I don't feel like right now I have to match up. I'm just letting guys play, and, I'll probably split it up a little bit again. We got a lot of games. I think we have 11 more games before we open up conference or something like I don't know how many, but, I think, some things will settle in, but at the same time, guys are still fighting and pushing, and I think that's what makes you good when you have competition amongst teammates, just as long as they like each other and they care about each other and they want each other to do good. You're going to win. You're going to win no matter who you have on the field.
You mentioned putting Polk in the lineup, hoping he'd bring a little bit of power. Is he a guy that could maybe even get a look at DH for you?
Yeah, that's good thinking. That was in our conversation. Yes, of course. Yeah, he can DH.
And then also, I don't think we've seen Reese Robinette yet. Is he dealing with an injury or anything? Or?
No, just Reese and I have talked before the season. It still could be, unless we have some injuries. I don't want to just play him a little bit. He played a little bit last year. So it could be a situation where he redshirts. But we don't know yet. We're just going to keep working him, and, we think he's going to play here. We just want to make sure that we're fair all the way around there. Okay.